Welcome, everyone. I'm Cindy Myers, and you can check out my website for more information about my services and how to contact me at yourenergyhealer.com. And tonight we're going to talk about animals and emotions. This is the webinar for that. and, oh, hang on a second. I'm getting somebody's. I want to mute everybody. Thought I did. There we go. All right. So we're going to share my screen again. There we go. There we go. So again, we're going to talk about uh animals and emotions, and with holidays coming up really fast. A lot of people have been decorating and making changes to their house with all the decorations. And believe it or not, that can kind of create a little anxiety in our pets. Plus, maybe more people coming and going. Maybe you're going on trips or getting ready to go on trips or family coming to visit. So a lot of upheaval in the home sometimes during this holiday season, or just added stress with the comings and goings. And even if you're not coming and going like me, my routine is pretty much the same day in and day out. But I feel more of the stress from just going into town, like today at the grocery store and stuff. I was like, you can tell the energy is a little more um fast paced, more anxiety out there. So coming home with that makes me sometimes a little more crabby if I'm not mindful of it. So that can spill out into our animals as well. So we're going to talk about how that impacts our pets and what maybe we can do about it. But before we get going, if you're having a medical emergency for your pet, any other kind of emergency going on, what I prefer you call your vet right away. But what I can do for you is provide energy support for your pet and for yourself. That can help calm them down. It can help get their energy and their natural energy flowing more fully. So it supports your pet while you're waiting for vet care. Because I know sometimes it's not easy to get in right away, even to the emergency vet. So if we need just a little boost to keep going, help support your pet while you're in the emergency, I can help with that. However, if you have an aggressive animal, if you're calling me about an aggressive animal, I do require that you work with a qualified trainer because it's just not enough to release the trapped emotions that create the habit of aggression. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the webinar. But you have to retrain the habit, and so you need a good trainer to deal with that and help you deal with that. I'm more of the support leg of helping with aggressive animals. I'm not the main cog in helping change that behavior. So well, let's get move on into the holiday part. So how can the holidays? We talked a little bit how the holidays can impact our pets. And, trees. Decorating with more, maybe a tree that has. If you're using a live tree, that can have a lot of smells in it, and our animals may be very interested in those smells. Or if they're more of an anxiety based pet, those smells can bring out more anxiety because they're going, oh my god, there's something else in this house. So the smells can really create changes or anxiety in their pet, or maybe too much interest in the tree too. And again, like I said, you might have a lot of visitors coming and going more than normal, or you may be going out of town. So all that can create more stress in our pets. But what is stress, or what are these emotions, and how does it impact them? So emotions are just chemicals that the body creates to uh, express or associate with an experience that your pet is having, and it's true for us as well. And it can be past or present. So if your pet has a smell, say, or a sound, that's another good one. A sound that is upsetting, has been upset by a loud sound or something like that. Fireworks is a great example. with New Year's coming up, the fireworks can really upset our pets. And so if they hear that noise or even a backfire, it can trigger that fear state and they can go into panic, just like, again, humans can be triggered by fireworks as well, or loud noises, or different sounds or smells and things. So same is true with that. And these emotions, because they're just chemicals, they work very much like food when they're broken down into their chemical and atomic components. They become energy, and like food, with food, if you eat too much in a day and you can't burn it all off, then those food calories have to stay somewhere in the body that gets stuck, right, in some of the tissues in your body. So it's true with emotions. If mm, we can then have so many emotions in a day, but if they can't get burned off by exercise, peeing them out, pooping them out, sweating them out, or however your pet eliminates things, then then those chemicals get stuck in the tissues as well. So it can create a physical issue as well as a behavior one, and it can do both. So what we want to do, and we can build up a lot of trapped emotions quite often before it comes out as a behavioral issue or a physical issue. So there's like a threshold of what we can tolerate or your pet can tolerate. And once that threshold is exceeded, then then it comes out. It has to come out in either a behavioral problem or a physical problem, and or both. So we want to get those trapped emotions below that threshold. And fortunately, I know how to get rid of those trapped emotions. So that's what we'll be doing in the demo part. I'll be showing you how we can release those trapped emotions and hopefully change some of the behavior or help them uh, process things out better. One of the great things with pets is that quite often, once we relieve those trapped emotions and communicate what we do want them to do, they are more likely to go to where it feels better. So they work with me a lot more readily than sometimes humans do when I clear for humans, because we humans tend to want to hang on to our baggage more than our pets. They're way smarter about these things than we humans. So, getting rid of those trapped emotions can really benefit them greatly. So, like when you're on vacation or something like that, getting rid of that anxiety or worry or confusion emotions, those are very typical emotions for me to release when you go out of town. Getting rid of those, that just gonna help them deal with your going away, so it doesn't affect their tummies as much and other physical issues as well as behavioral ones. Well, let's go into what anxiety may look like in your pet. So, how do you know if your pet is experiencing some anxiety or stress from your uh, holidays? Well, they may pant. That's one sign that they're upset or in pain, is panting. Pacing. They can't seem to find a good spot during fireworks. That's very common there, the panting and the pacing. They're looking for a place that's safe. They might be looking for a den, a small place to kind of hunker in and get into a safe, what they feel is a safe spot. They may head into the bathroom or closet. They're looking for a very quiet and small space to hide. It's also really important if your pets are afraid during fireworks to make sure they're very secure, either in your yard or in your home, especially preferably in your home if at all possible, because if they are really frightened, they may try and get out of your fenced yard and places where they've never gotten out before they can, because they are so desperate to get away from that noise. So please make sure they're very secure during fireworks. They may whine for your dogs. They might become more whiny or bark or mew more. They may shake. They may tremble. They may start chewing on themselves, their paws. That is a sign of stress and anxiety, excessive chewing and OCD kind of behavior. They may hide someplace and you can't find them. Or they may stop using their normal litter box potty behavior. That is very common. That is quite often a sign after uh, the 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 main anxiety provoking event has occurred. You may notice that they have potty accidents um, a day, 2 days, a week, even 2 weeks after the event. It can take that long for them to process it out and then try to release that anxiety, and it can come out as with a potty issue. So that's a sign that they might need a little support. Is if they're having an accident and they don't normally have accidents. So those are just some of the signs that you can look for. Those are very common ones that to look out for. So some things you can do, because I like to give you a couple tips that you yourselves can do. And number one is when we get into this really crazy time of year, we ourselves kind of forget to breathe fully. We're just so busy, busy, busy. We tend to breathe more shallow when we're under stress. Our pets actually pick that up, and I think that's what they're sensing a lot of times when they know that we're stressed out, is they're noticing that we're not breathing fully. So try to take some time and do some full deep breaths. And I like to do it while I'm petting them. That's a good time to just quiet things down. I can always get stressed out about my stuff in a second later, but while I'm petting them, I try and let that go and just take a few nice, quiet, calming breaths. Just enjoy being with them. It helps them, it helps me. And then I just kind of tune everything else out while I'm spending that time just petting and loving on them. And I just look in their eyes, and their eyes will soften quite often while you're doing this nice, gentle petting. It is really a good thing to do for as much for you as it is for them. But it really does help our pets when they're anxious. If your pet is receptive, kiss the top of their head and just see what they do. uh, just throw them a little gentle kiss, and they kind of look up at you and go, "I love you too." So it's really a sweet moment to just observe when you give them a gentle kiss. Um, and those are other things to look at. Do they give you the that eye contact with soft eyes? That's a sign that they're calming down. Do they give you a little kiss back? Do they lean into you? Do they offer their paw to hold while you're petting and looking into them like that? Whether you're doing that gentle petting, if it's your cat, boy, did yeah, there it's real obvious. Their motor gets going right, and they start purring. That purring is wonderful to breathe into because they seem to tune. We tune ourselves. Our heart rate tunes to that purring. That vibration helps us relax even further. So listen to that purring. Just feel that energy. It becomes a positive feedback loop as opposed to the negative feedback loop. More anxiety creates more anxiety. When we don't breathe, that creates anxiety in us. That creates anxiety in our pets, and we breathe more shallow, and then they start panting. So this is the opposite. By doing this quiet breathing, you can have them do the mewing, and they're not mewing, they're just purring like crazy. And that makes us relax. And now by us enjoying that and petting them, they relax more and enjoy it, which means they purr even louder or just keep it going. So now we have that wonderful positive feedback loop. So those are some things you can do that's really enjoyable. So spend some time just focusing completely on them, send them love, and it'll get returned tenfold. And that's what I love about energy. Where kind of think of yourself as a pipe, just a conduit, and where energy can flow through you. So you just bring in that beautiful white light, just breathe it in like we're a pipe and sending it out through our hands as we're petting our pets. And then we get the benefit of that beautiful energy. We don't have to know how to, you really don't have to know how to do energy work. You're just a pipe and it just flows through. Believe me, that's truly how energy work happens, is we're just a flow through. We're just flowing through us, and you can send it out through your hands. If you rub your hands really fast together and just hold it out towards your pet, they'll come over and smell your hands. They'll feel the vibration. That's energy. That's sending out. So if you just think of white light, rub your hands together, And that's all you have to do and start petting. They're going to feel it. And trust me, your pet will know it even if you don't know it's happening. And you'll see it in their reaction, their body reaction, their eyes, their relaxation. They'll even turn their body to where they want it. So if they move around, if they're on your lap, let them, because they know exactly where they want that energy. And by you doing that, responding and giving it to, rubbing your hand and putting it where they want that energy to go in their body, they think you're actually listening to them and they appreciate it. So now that increases your bond even more deeply. So, if you are going on vacation during this holiday season, I encourage you to check out my virtual pet sitting package. It includes a quick 15-minute phone consult just to find out, get the right dates put on my calendar, find out any issues your pet has while you go away, if you know what they might be, and I'll let you know that, and how I might best reach you if you want me to give you feedback of what I do. This package is good for up to 1 week and up to 2 animals. And I check in on them about 2, 3 times during that week to make sure that they get any releases they might need of trapped emotions. Communicate, especially as you get closer to coming home, letting them know how many nighttime sleeps before you come home, and also any other communication that can help support them. That's what I do. All right. So, future events. We got a healing circle this Saturday at noon Pacific time. Next Wednesday is a healing circle as well on Zoom. If you haven't um, taken part in these healing circles, I encourage you to try that. It's really beneficial. It's good for grounding and relaxing, especially in this stressful time. Takes about a half hour from start to finish and really helps you just kind of relax and be able to handle things a little bit easier. Um, the guided meditation take you into a nice quiet space, and then my guides and I go to work in helping remove any trapped emotions and get your energy flowing and tuned to a nice, gentle frequency. Let's see. The next webinar is the intuitive listening webinar, December 28th. And then I'm having a special healing circle the last day of the year. I love doing those the last day or the first day of the year. So to really get ourselves ready for our next year ahead. And I have an introduction to animal communication scheduled January 19th, hosted by Jen Weigel. It's been really a fun class on Zoom. I teach you how to communicate with animals using my alpacas as well as your own pets. And it's been really a fun class. And I don't want to jinx myself, but we've had 100% success having everybody connect with an animal during the Zoom. So it does work. I will send you the link as soon as I get it from Jen, making sure it's up on her website, but it will be January 19th. They sell out pretty fast. So if you're interested, might want to connect with her or get signed up right away. All right. With that, I'm going to stop sharing. And anybody have any questions before I get going? All right. So I have some pets here. Laura, you're on. Can you unmute yourself, Laura? I've got Lamont.
Sure.
He was the first email I got. So, all right. Here's Lamont. So, can you give us a little update on what's going on with Lamont? Does he just need a little tune up or something special going on?
Well, his brother Ansel continues to encourage his negative behavior. What I really mean is because you've helped me with my boys before. But he's been trying to hiding from around a corner and rushing out to surprise my oldest cat, who can't walk as quickly. And it's like it's a totally a game for Lamont, but Galen hisses and does not enjoy it. So it's that behavior that um I'd like to not happen or happen less frequently.
Does he do it with his other brother?
They don't do it together at the same time, but Ansel will do the same thing a half hour later.
Oh, and but do they only direct it at Galen or do they do it on each other?
They only direct it at Galen.
Okay. So let me try and do you mind if they do it Lamont and Ansel?
Oh,
Do
that's
it?
fine.
Okay. So let me try and get them to try and do it with each other as opposed to Galen, because that's
Yeah.
fair. So I'm going to release some pride off of Lamont and stubbornness. And I'm going to ask him to play that game with his other brother and tell him that it's a better challenge. It's not so easy to pick, it's easy pickings on the
Mhm.
older guy. That's not fair.
Mhm.
And it's not impressive.
Right. It's true.
So it's a much bigger challenge to try and surprise his other brother and
Mhm.
see if they can't make a game of seeing if they can startle each other instead. Yeah. So his answer was, but my brother might beat me up.
This is the brother who might beat me up, Ansel.
Yes.
Oh, and it's so funny because he's the smallest of the three.
So
But
he's a
he's
little more, but he can probably dish it out, but much better than the older guy because
yeah, he's
he moves faster.
yeah, and he's Ansel is the instigator in everything. Almost. Okay.
So I'm still gonna say, well, that's okay. That's fair game. And that just makes it. That's why it's a bigger challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm also trying not to use negative, but just asking them to give space and be gentle with Galen. So he's just not as good at these kitten games anymore. So be gentle with him and try and be brave about going after Hansel. 'Cause he's got more fear there. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
the same thing with Hansel, just to go ahead and that should be just the game between those two boys.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hansel's more willing than Lamont. Hansel does not seem to be afraid at all of picking on Lamont. So see if that doesn't help a little. It's one of those that I think they just kind of forget after a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's good that we kind of remind them once in a while. And if you catch them in the moment, make sure that you let them know that that's not appropriate. But it
Mhm.
doesn't do any good if it's not in the moment.
Right.
One thing with animals, if you catch them in the moment, you can scold them or say
Right. Right.
whatever. But if it's even a couple seconds later, it doesn't. They're like, "Why are you yelling at me now? I'm just standing here." They're so in the moment. They're in the moment. I thought that's what you wanted me to do. So,
Thank you, Cindy.
thank you. Good one. Oh, just a quick one. I had a client, a new client that contacted me because this should be one of my disclaimers. They couldn't, their kitty, their house cat got outside, and they were panic as it's not comfortable being outside or doesn't know the where the ins and outs of being outside, and they hadn't been able to find this cat for all day. They've been searching and searching, so they reached out to me, and I really don't have a good GPS, but I offered to tap in and see what I could figure out, or if the cat could tell me anything. Sometimes people think they're lost and they're not. They know exactly where they are. And this cat said, "I know where I am. I'm not lost. I'm right. I'm really close. I'm really, really close. And I'm underneath something." And it kept showing me like it was in a dark kind of a small place. And she couldn't figure out what that might be. So anyway, later on, a couple hours later, I get a call and she said, "Well, we found our cat. It was never outside. She had been putting away some sweaters in the guest room dresser, and the cat hopped into the dresser and she
Mhm.
didn't know it and closed the drawer."
Mhm.
So the cat was very close. Unfortunately, she walked into the guest room and
Right.
so
I'm the guest in the guest room this time.
yeah. So if you ever missing your cat, look in your dresser drawers.
Aw. How old is your dog, Joy?
You're muted, Joy, and you're next anyway. So let's see. Let's get Roxy up. Mm,
She's a rescue. We think she's between 7 and 11.
She's adorable.
Thanks.
So, how can I help you with Roxy, Joy?
Well, she came Labor Day week, so she's still settling in and it's going very, very well. Although today she didn't really want to go out in the rain and she did poop on the rug. So that was a first, not so good. And she hasn't been interested in food today, which I'm really not worried about till tomorrow, but I don't know if there's something going on with her tummy or what.
Okay.
And Christmas Eve, she's gonna have to stay home alone for a couple of hours, and Christmas Day will be at my best friend who's got a King Charles Spaniel who's only a year old. So it's a little nerve-wracking. She'll be on my lap and I'll bring some safe places for her to run, but that dog's more interested in her and they'll cage her off a little bit, but it's, at least she gets to go with, but
Okay. Does she like crates at all? Is she comfortable in a crate?
well, the other dog is crate trained and has big crates, so they'll let me have her in the kitchen and the other dog will be in a more of a contained area.
Okay. 'Cause sometimes if they like a crate, that can feel like a secure place.
Yeah,
I'm not
actually, I'll have to find out if she if she ever is used to a crate.
Yeah, that can really help animals that are fear-based. It's a nice little den-like space if they like
Right,
the crate.
right.
And then it makes it really nice for especially a small dog if she is crate trained, because you can take her places easier and she's safer. And it's like a home place. It's got her scent and it's like her home base. No matter where she goes, she's got her home with her. So
Yeah.
if she likes crate, that could be a good thing. And there's ways of if she's not fully understanding of it, you can introduce it to her quietly and slowly so that it becomes a good place. Um, let's see. So let
We
me.
did spend Thanksgiving with the same family, so it went pretty well. I'm not
Oh,
too.
okay. So and the more times you go, usually the easier it is too. It's like anybody, the first any of us introverts, the first time it's a little nerve wracking, and the next time it's like, oh, it's okay. I know the drill. So let me tap in to see what's going on with the pooping and the diet, which can be related and can be related to uh the rain and all that. That can actually cause some anxiety, especially if you don't know her past history and had to be out long times in weather and stuff. That could cause, some of the past, like we say, emotions, it could be a trigger that reminds them of something uncomfortable or just something totally new, but I don't think it's new. I think more about discomfort at some point. So I'm going to release some anxiety, lack of control, and helplessness. And worry, nervousness, clearing all that. Okay,
Are you saying those things in general, or that's what you're picking up from her?
that's what I picked up. So I'm just releasing all of that
So,
out. So I'm just letting her know that, sometimes we just have to go outside, even if it's rainy and unpleasant. Just go fast, go real quick, and then you come back in the house. Potting outside is the appropriate thing to do. She's more thirsty than hungry. Um, but I think hopefully she'll start eating. I do think it was just kind of when animals are anxious, that they're in that fear state, for whatever reason, that can impact their digestive system. So sometimes they get a tummy issue where they get diarrhea or throw up, or they just don't want food or they want too much food. But if it's more of an OCD thing, but their tummy, the fight or flight response system turns down the digestive system down to minimal. So then they can be not hungry. It can be one of the reactions when they're nervous. So that's why when one of the issues for a lot of pet sitting, when you go out of town, the animals don't eat because they're really anxious and confused.
well, she might have been upset because she was scolded. It was a gentle scolding, but she prides herself in being very well behaved. And I
Yeah,
think,
I don't think she meant to do it. It just happened, and it's because she really didn't want to go outside. But that's why I said, yeah, you
but I
can
think
go
maybe she
outside.
wasn't really hungry at breakfast. Then the food got, there's fresh ground beef and fresh chicken in there. And once it got old, then she wasn't interested. Then when I made the fresh one at dinner time, she had been scolded and maybe she was kind of upset with herself because she had been naughty and, you know,
Yeah, and if some of our pets really take it personally if they get scolded. They really don't want to displease us. And so I don't think the potty or pooping was really on purpose. It was because
right.
it was it was so uncomfortable. The idea of going out in the rain is just, and
Yeah,
I
I
do think there's something besides it just being uncomfortable and rain. I think she had some unpleasant experiences being out in the rain in the past. So
Mm.
that might be part of it. So it's just I don't know if you have a dry place to go while she goes out to go potty when it's raining, just to kind of encourage her, and then a lot of praise when she does it, and just go fast. And that's what I told her. I said, when it rains, just go out and go really fast, and then come back in, and it'll be all good. Yeah, I had a dog that really did not like going out in the rain. They would
I think,
they would look outside, oh no, and then turn around, come back in, and then they'd wait until they really had to go. All right, I'll go.
she was adopted by an older couple for a couple of months and they didn't go out with her. They just put her out and she was worried about it and just stayed at the door till they let her back in. And then she went in and did her business on the pee pad. So she wasn't making messes in the house, but she was never learning to do anything outside. So I know she's used to pee pads, so maybe I just need to give her an indoor option for bad weather,
Maybe or transition it, put the pee pad outside or outside the door or something, just to kind of wean her out. it says she can learn. If she knows, if she can do it outside when it's nice, then she can learn to go out when it's raining. It just needs a little encouragement. Because I think what you just said is that they let her out and not, it created anxiety because it was maybe out too long, and not, she got worried. and
Yeah,
not-
well, she likes it if I go with her, at least in the beginning, if I would go with her and watch her do her thing. And now she's used to it and she
So if
still
we
looks-
don't go out with her because it's raining, then she goes, I don't want to go out by myself. And then it reminds her of the other people that wouldn't go out with her. So I know it's one of those, it's a habit thing. So yeah, my guys want me to walk out with them too. I want to go out with me. Like, so yeah. But I did release some of it, so hopefully she'll get back on track for eating. I think it didn't, and communicated to her, we still do want her to potty. So she goes out and when it's raining, lots and lots of praise, that she did good.
Okay,
Alrighty, let's see. And let's see. Oh no, Michelle, I'm sorry. Michelle, you guys were next in the emails with Roy. Try to get it in order of who sent me stuff. Are you there, Michelle?
Yes.
Hey, Michelle. I'm not sure. Where did you go? Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, there's Roy. So what's going on with Roy? Is he still holding his paw up again?
He has not been doing that,
Oh, okay.
barely at all. But now the other day he was laying on the floor and I just like touched him in a spot. And this is a cat that does not ever meow. He doesn't make any noises, only if he sees like a bird, and he does his little chatter. But other than that, he never makes a noise, and he squealed a little bit.
Hmm.
So I picked him up and I was holding him and I was like pressing where I thought there was an issue, and he actually hissed at me. So I think I don't know if he jumped off something or something, but he seemed to be in pain. But then like a day or two later, I couldn't find it anymore and he didn't seem to be as sensitive, but I just thought maybe we could.
Was it in the hip area?
Yep. It was
Left?
like right before his tail, yeah, it was in the,
Was it more on the left?
not sure.
Okay, that's where.
Yeah, I think so. I think it might have been I think it might have been. I mean, because I was just stroking his back and it seemed like, yes, I think it is on his left.
Okay, that's where I'm feeling something. So let's see what we can release for him.
That was just so weird because he has never hissed at me. And so I knew that there must be something. I mean, he's the sweetest, lovablest cat I've ever known. And for him to do that,
Yeah,
he
it's
must
a
have
sign
been.
of pain. So
Mhm.
defensiveness, clearing that. Vulnerability, clearing that. Not sure if it was a landing. It might have been more of taking off that he
Mhm.
take off, you know.
Right. Because, yeah, they don't usually land on their back.
No, yeah. So I think he.
But I mean, even like today, he was running. I have a balcony, like a bridge over a 2-story, and he was running back and forth. And it's like he didn't show any signs of walking weird or anything. But,
Okay, good.
so I was kind of looking for a lump or something, but I didn't feel anything. But
Well,
so,
it's probably, they heal. If they're given an opportunity, they heal. Cats can heal pretty quickly on
Mhm.
stuff. They're very good healers on themselves. I do feel it's kind of easing but I'm not sure what he did.
Hmm.
Oh, there. Ah. I got it to a big pop, the release. That felt good. So,
Good.
uh,
And my sister said, take him to a vet that's a chiropractor or something, because
yeah, sometimes those can really help. It's always good if you have a chiropractor nearby. That wouldn't be because sometimes just releasing the trapped emotions. I like to work alongside chiropractors often for humans and animals because I can release the trapped emotion. Oh, I'm getting chills, so this might be important for you to do. Um, is that the trapped emotions create are like a ball of energy that block your natural flow. So if it's near the spine or something, the injury or a hip or something, it pushes on it, that block. So it can change where the spine is. It can actually push it out. And when I release the trapped emotion, that's great, but it may not always put it back in the right place. So that's when the chiropractor, now when they adjust, when they put it back in the right place, that that trapped emotion isn't there anymore, so that it can go in the right place and stay there. Whereas sometimes when we go to the chiropractor, I know for myself included, when we adjust, go to them first and they adjust. But if that trapped emotion is there, they'll get us aligned, but then it pushes it back pretty quickly. So we just keep doing this back and forth. But if we can remove trapped emotions or at least enough of it, and it may not be the whole trapped emotion or the series of it, can be multiples, even into the hundreds, or I've removed over 1,000 in places of trapped emotions, of similar emotions. So it can create a big ball of energy that is stuck right there. And so we have to slowly get rid of some of the trapped emotions so that when you adjust, it goes in hopefully in the right place and stays there. So, so yes, he might need an adjustment afterwards. It feels so much better. It feels much looser right now after the trapped. I released those trapped emotions. I just had another nice shift as I've been wiggling around. So I think he'll feel a whole lot better, but if it's still kind of, it might be a sensitive area that will go out again. So again, it could be something, if you can get him comfortable going to a chiropractor, that's usually a good thing, especially as our pets start to get a little older. It's a nice modality for them. And again, it's one of those that my dogs know the difference of going to the chiropractor, the veterinarian chiropractor versus the the regular veterinarian where they get their annual and stuff. It's a different vet that I use. And they love the chiropractor. And the other vet, they go, I don't know so much. They're not as anxious to go to the other office and they like them, but it's just a different, I don't know. They're definitely more anxious being at the regular vet versus the chiro. They're like all baggy and happy.
Right.
So,
Are you in the Chicago area, Michelle?
oh, I'm in Michigan.
Oh, okay. I have a chiropractor that in the Chicago area for animals.
Yeah, no, I think there's one that's probably about, I think my sister said there's one that's about 25 miles away, so I might check to see if I can get in. Our vets are hard to get into right now, like you mentioned. They're very
yeah,
difficult to get
they're
in.
very difficult, and
Mhm.
there's
But
fewer
I don't know
vet
if this,
chiropractors. But again, if it is something that's just observe, if he's doing fine, great. But
Mhm.
if if it's still a little sensitive or tender, then that would be a good thing to probably do. Probably
Yeah.
something that's just slightly out of alignment. But
Mhm.
it's pretty good right at the moment. So
Good.
better than when
Okay.
I first checked in on him and I went, oh yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, you knew exactly where it was.
All right,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And you sent me 3 pictures. Do you have a preference of which one?
Well, actually, the two little Bostons came to us together. I have a feeling they're brothers because they're both real big for Bostons, and they both have pricks in their tails. And I'm betting they came from a breeding, program, and they were just rejects, not to be put down, but just to, they weren't the pick the pic, they had issues. Anyway, they're sweet as can be. Is there any way you can get a feel from both of them together?
Uh, I don't know. Is there something in specific? You did send me a picture, I think, of the two of them together. I didn't
Or
download that one.
maybe I did. I don't know. Or maybe I don't know.
Um, see if I could get it really fast. Mm,
I know I posted one on my Facebook page of the two of them.
oh, I think I have it. Okay, hang on. Oh, where am I? Oh, here it is. Okay. The brown one is in the background, but I think it'll work with the two of them.
Oh, wow.
Can you see that?
Yeah. That's the two of them.
Okay.
They weigh about 30 pounds, so they're actually oversized for Boston, but they're so sweet. And I just, it'd be nice if I could sort of get a feel from how they're feeling.
All right, and Ren is the black and Stimpy is the brown.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. Trying to see if one is more outgoing and will talk to me more. Stimpy, okay. Is Stimpy more?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, Stimpy tend to be more. It's the one that wants to come in, but I was just curious
Okay.
if he's like
Ren
that.
is very, not needy, but he always wants to be near me and licking my face, and Stimpy is more relaxed to be on his own.
Okay,
But
so that
definitely,
would make sense that he would want to be the more confident one is coming through.
okay.
So you just in general want to find out, well, but they would like to stay together. That's the number one thing. So if possible,
You're picking that up from them?
yeah.
Okay.
So they seem like a bonded pair.
Yeah, they are pretty much, although they both do well with the other dogs in the house.
Yeah, but that's because they're together too.
Okay,
I think that would be hard on them if they were separated. More for Rem, but both of them would
okay,
be upset because Stimpy kind of watches over Rem
okay,
too. So the companionship seems to be important. So if at all possible, when you're looking for a home, try and keep them together, I think. They'll be
okay.
happier together. Um, Not necessary to have other dogs in a household, but okay. Like you said, they seem to be okay with other dogs. So
I
another
think
one.
they were in a household with like 7 dogs, and then they lost their home from the hurricane, and they just couldn't keep them all.
Okay,
So a lot of that going on down here.
I bet. I
Oh,
bet.
yeah.
So
That's something.
yeah, I think, and that's probably also really important because of all the losses and the fear. They're more really dependent on each other for security. So that would be my gathering is they really, if they're gonna be thrive and be happy, they should be together.
Okay, that's good to know.
So let me release some of the trauma that they've been through and abandonment, clear that. Helplessness, clearing that. Terror, clearing that. Fear. Confusion. There's a nice shift. And then and I'm letting them know that they're safe with you, but this isn't their forever home, that you're working to find them a forever home. Okay.
Okay, good, thank you.
So just letting them know because that's part of their confusion is this forever? What? We like it here. We don't know. so they don't want to
Oh,
necessarily
they like
give you
it.
their full
they're-
heart.
They're okay, they're happy here.
Yeah, they seem to like you and the place. Okay, it's
Okay.
just, they're just not sure. Is this it or what?
Yeah.
It
Okay.
seems like they might have had a couple transitions.
Yeah, because I think they were, when they got kicked in, everybody was living in the car with the dogs and the couple, so there's been a
Ooh-wee.
lot of
Yeah,
stress.
they've had a lot of, that's
Yeah.
part of the trauma that I was picking up, the anxiety, the
Yeah.
trauma, fear, and confusion, big confusion, what's going on. But not only just the fear from their living environment, but just through the storm itself. That was pretty darn scary.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
so, but that we release some of that. But hopefully you'll get them, find them some nice home because they seem like nice, sweet energy. Like you said, they're sweet dogs.
They're
But they just, need to get settled someplace, and they'll bring some people lots of joy because they're got sweet
Mhm.
temperaments.
Sweet, definitely.
It's
Okay,
nice,
thank you.
good of you to have them. So is that other one you sent me? Is it a quick?
Oh, yeah, that would be great. That's a little chihuahua,
A little
a little
chihuahua.
3-year-old girl. She's a sweetheart too. She's a little feistier than the Bostons, but Chihuahuas tend to be.
And same thing, is she a storm victim?
God, I can't remember. I don't know where she came from.
Okay.
Probably, I'm not sure. I can't guarantee that.
Okay.
But she's another sweetheart. She's a sweetie pie.
We're pretty much releasing a lot of the same things: abandonment, fear, confusion, unsupported, nervousness, clearing that. Some trauma, clearing that. There we go. That was a good release. Some shock. Gonna release that.
She had ACL surgery. You know what that is, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And that's what, I don't know how we got them, but we took her in and had the surgery done. And then our director said, can you take her, and I said, yeah, sure. So,
So she's still in recovery mode, or
oh, no, she's doing great. I mean, the day after she was already putting weight on it, and that's been over a month. So she's doing great. She's
okay.
in good shape.
Yeah. Not getting anything, not like your normal ones that you give me.
Yeah.
Not like your normal one. What-
My normal ones,
The normal ones that are kind of
psychotic.
yeah, okay.
Oh, that's bad.
Highly reactive dogs.
Yeah, that's a nice way to say vicious biters or psychotic. There's multiples. I've been doing this with Sydney for years.
So,
You might want to explain to her that the ACL surgery was for her benefit. I had a dog that didn't realize that she had to have her leg amputated for cancer. She thought it was for the doctor's training. So
Oh, that's interesting.
okay, that's good thought. I can let her know that it was to help her. Yeah. Yeah, probably that could have been part of the confusion, but it's all interrelated too with, abandonment.
Yeah, with all these dogs, they just don't know how their whole life's got
It's
turned
kind
out.
of like what's going on kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
some of it, the shock I think that I got off of her, it's kind of like, she's still kind of I don't think her full personality is coming out yet because she's feeling vulnerable and defensiveness with the injury and healing, so she's not as secure because she can't move as quickly yet.
Oh, that doesn't slow. She's back. The
Pretty
9
good.
dogs I had, 7 of them were all under 3 years old and or younger, and they just played, including her.
Okay,
Just
good. So,
seven.
so when she's with the other dog, she's kind of herself, maybe.
Yeah, she's all over the place. She's running on it, and second day she was running on it. I don't think that I don't think she even remembers it or anything about that surgery.
Okay, good.
Can you tell her that I'm just taking care of her until we find
Yeah,
her?
yeah, it's kind of the same thing, that this isn't her forever home. It's that you're working on finding her forever home,
Mhm.
and just to enjoy life until then.
Absolutely, we'll take good care of her and love on her until
Yep,
she
she's
gets.
safe. She's in a safe, loving home until you find her another safe, loving home. And again, I'm not getting a good feel necessarily of some people. Sometimes I get a feel like she needs to be an only pet or something like that. I'm not getting that, especially since she's having such a grand time with other dogs. She can fit in nicely with another family with other dogs. She might
Yeah.
actually thrive in that situation. I think she probably does need other animals to play with, get that energy out, and enjoy
Okay.
life. So yeah, I think she's a perfect candidate for a nice home. I don't know if she's good with kids. You might want to check that out. But I suspect she might.
She's going period, so I think she'll do fine.
Yeah, she might be a really good one for a young family with kids and stuff. I kind of feels that way, but again, I would test it but first, because sometimes little dogs they might need an older kids, but I kind of have a feeling that a family might be a good setting for her, more so than the Bostons. I'm not sure they're as attuned to young kids, maybe older kids, but not little ones. I didn't get
Okay.
that as good a vibe for them on that
Okay.
one. But I think this one could actually enjoy being with young kids and being carried around and you dress up and
Well,
anything. It's a
I,
party. She kind
I
of
will,
feels maybe a party girl.
I will say that she and Harry, which is my other Chihuahua, they're the stinkers of the group at the moment. Because they're not afraid to get real, kind of nasty if there's too much energy around them. But that's typical of Chihuahuas because they're small and we've got these big dogs playing hard and yeah.
Yeah. And again, I think she'll do fine. She knows how to take care of herself.
I think I didn't expect any major traumas in any of them, but I appreciate you.
And just get rid of stuff so that they're good to go for their next venture in life. Their next family.
Exactly,
Yep.
exactly.
It doesn't have to be an extreme case, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And I can get some semblance of my life back.
Yeah, really. All righty, so we're at the top of the hour, so we'll go ahead. I'm gonna stop the recording.